Loading screens. I know what you're thinking. They're probably the most annoying thing in the entire world, I guess, for you. And it always gets in the way of your gaming, especially when you're on a run and then suddenly a loading screen happens and you have to wait. But trust me when I say this, we gamers or we it doesn't really matter if you're a gamer or not. If you're watching television or whatever, we need loading screens. We need things that will stop us from watching, even for at least a second. And this is because it's very important for our eyes to rest. And loading screens are just one of the ways that we can rest our eyes. In television, we can rest our eyes during advertisements. We don't really need to watch those. But in video games, we need loading screens because of the strain that puts into our eyes if we don't rest our eyes. Now, if we don't rest our eyes and keep gaming all day, it can cause eye strain, and eye strain is really bad for your eyes. Now, it doesn't really necessarily destroy your eyes, but eye strain is really bad. It's a really bad symptom, and it's not really a symptom. It's more of like an illness. It's not really an illness either, but you get the point. It's a really bad thing, and people like underestimate it because you don't really get much from eye strain. All you get from eye strain are probably dry eyes, sometimes watery eyes, depends on the condition that you're in, and you would get headaches, obviously, and you would get sensitive to light as well. So if you're playing in a dark room, make sure that you're playing in a well lit room because that will break your eyes. And it RGB works as well because it complements the screen, and what shows up in the screen is RGB anyway. So RGB lights complements it, so it doesn't really matter as long as you have light in your room that helps complement the screen. Then that's good enough. But if you don't have it, then if you play in the dark room, then yeah, I don't suggest that you do that because it'll bring strain to your eye and it's not good for your eyes. And this is why I put loading screens in here as well, together with the lightings, because loading screens are that 1 second or maybe the 5 seconds of your eyes resting. Just close your eyes for 5 seconds and you can completely avoid eye strains. Not completely avoid, but you can at least avoid the likeness of it ever happening. So that's why loading screens are very important. Just because it's a hindrance to your gameplay, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter as long as it can rest your eyes. You can rest your eyes, and that's good enough for you, for everyone, really. The problem is people really just hate loading screens in general because of the hindrance that they pose. And yeah, we know that during loading screens, it's the environments and it's the resources that are being loaded into the game in order for us to play it. And it's just placing resources from one place to another. So that's pretty much how loading is. And some take a really long time because the resources that they are using are very high and sometimes high quality, and you have to put the voices in there sometimes, especially during cutscenes and when there are no jump cuts and such. For example, games that are pixelated, for example, PS1 games, you can easily load it because it has a small. The resources that they actually use are small. Compare that to PS4 games, which the resources they use are very high, and sometimes they go up to 86 gigabytes. Final Fantasy VII Remake has 86 gigabytes, so yeah, that's pretty high, and that's why the loading screen takes so freaking long. But understandable, because with a game that long, with a game that makes you play 1 hour or 2 hours straight, then you're gonna need longer loading screens. That way, you can at least rest your eyes for, let's say, a minute or so, because that is important for our eyes. And again, I think this is what we are forgetting, that just because something is a hindrance doesn't mean it doesn't have to exist. And that goes to life as well. Just because you see someone as a hindrance doesn't mean that they don't have to exist in your life. Just because something is a barrier to what you want to do doesn't make that barrier any less or any more important than anything else in your life. A barrier is a part of your life. And if you don't take that barrier as part of your life, then you're missing a part of your life. Even if it's just a little element, if it's just a small element, it still matters. A small hindrance to your life can mean devastating amounts to what you're going to experience in the future, and even in your present and in your past. So, yeah, that's all I want to say. Load times are important in gameplays and also in your life.